Hi there. Today we're going to talk about change and the leadership reality that the leader must change first. I remember being in the field and listening and hearing myself, and I still hear it today, this mantra. If you want your team to change your team. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? Just get new people. It's so hard to get people to change. What if I just found people who have a different mindset, who think differently? Well, that sounds easy, but here's the real catch about all that is that if you, as the leader, have created the team you have now. And so, unless you do some changing, you're probably going to recreate that same team all over again. So, I got to thinking what the leaders need to do to keep in touch with changing and growing so that their teams will change and grow too. And I put together a list of questions that you could ask yourself to help you stay focused on growing and learning and changing. The first thing is, what do I want my team to do that they're not doing already? Get specific. Do I want them to sell more, recruit more, hold more parties, go out and talk to more people? The next question is, am I doing what it is I want them to do? That's where the rubber meets the road. Because the next question, how am I modeling the behavior I want them to do? If you aren't doing what you want them to do and you're not modeling them, they look to you for what success looks like. So that's the first shift, is to actually be engaged in the very behavior you want your team to be doing. And thinking about how can I help them learn to do what I'm already doing. If that's not a reality, then ask yourself, what must I change to be the example that I want them to be for them? And then you have to wrestle with, how badly do I really want to change? Because if you don't want it bad enough, you probably aren't going to get uncomfortable, because it requires getting uncomfortable to change. And the last one is, am I really willing to do what it takes to be the role model for my team? To change my behavior and keep doing that behavior over and over again so that they will too. These are the questions, and the answers to these questions are going to lead you to targeting the growth and the learning and the shifting that you need to make as a leader to help your team change too. Change isn't easy, and there's lots of reasons why people fear change and resist change. But the biggest one is that we're people of habits, and the things we do, we're comfortable doing. Learning new habits requires you to get uncomfortable. So you really have to decide that you want to change. John Maxwell has a great quote that I like about change. People change when they hurt enough that they have to change, they learn enough that they want to change, and receive enough that they are able to change. The leader must recognize when people are in one of these three stages. And in fact, top leaders create an atmosphere that causes one of these three things to occur. So are you hurting? Is something feeling badly enough to you that you want to change? Are you constantly learning so that you have new knowledge and skills to be able to change? And are you receiving enough? Are you confident? Are you fed? Are you feeling good about you and your life? Because that makes a big difference. If you're not feeling up to speed, you're probably going to have a hard time changing. So what could you do more of to increase your desire to change? Do you need to take a class, hire a coach, engage a mentor? Remember that doing new things is not easy, and you'll likely have some failures on your way to creating these new habits, and your team will too. So it's really important to create a team culture where making mistakes is okay. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to share your stories. And be sure to talk about the failures that you had on the way to your success. It's great if you can do them in the moment, but tell the stories of what happened as you learned to be a recruiter, as you learned to be a top seller, and some of the mistakes you made. Your team will feel like it's okay for them to make mistakes too. So go ahead, get out there, and take a look at what you and your team need to do differently. Take charge and be the leader who isn't afraid to change.